Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey into, well, a truly unexpected realm.
Yeah, it's where the digital battlefield of a massive video game actually collides with stark, visceral reality.
Exactly. Our sources for this deep dive are unlike any we've explored before. Excerpts from a novelization of the acclaimed video game Battlefield 3, The Russian.
It's a fascinating crossover.
It really is. Promises to be packed with high stakes, raw emotion, and some seriously surprising insights.
And that's precisely what makes this material so compelling, I think. We're delving into how a fictional universe can be crafted with such remarkable fidelity that it actually triggers real-world flashbacks for those who've seen combat.
Wow.
Then the novel takes that immersive foundation and just expands upon it, offering deeper perspectives on its characters and the harrowing events they face.
This is like a shortcut.
Kind of. Think of this as your shortcut to being incredibly well-informed on a story that completely blurs the lines between interactive entertainment and, a gripping high-stakes thriller.
That's a powerful point. Our mission today is sort of twofold.
Okay.
First, to unpack the meticulous process behind creating such an immersive, realistic world. Like, how do you make pixels feel real?
A big question.
And then we'll follow two very different protagonists. A Russian ex-Special Forces operative, Dima Mayakovsky,
Right.
and an American Marine, Henry Blackburn, as they navigate a global crisis. We'll peel back the layers, reveal their motivations, the desperate choices they're forced to make,
And the connections between them.
and the truly surprising connections that emerge between them. Yeah? This deep dive is going to immerse you in the raw, personal impact of conflict and espionage, taking you far beyond a typical action story. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
So let's kick off with what makes this Battlefield 3 game, and by extension this novel, so incredibly unique. Its foundation in realism. There was a fascinating collaborative effort behind the game itself. What can you tell us about the unusual role of someone like Andy McNab? He's a former British SS soldier, right, in this development.
Yeah, it's quite extraordinary, actually. Andy McNab was brought in specifically to inject this layer of authentic realism into the game's characters and their movements.
So like how they hold their weapons.
Exactly. His job was to work directly with the actors and stuntmen in the motion capture studios. He ensured that the characters in the game moved, reacted, and fought like seasoned combat veterans.
People who've done this for real.
Individuals who had been handling weapons and engaged in warfare for their entire lives, yeah. And beyond just physical movements, he also explained their lines to them.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Well, this was crucial for the actors to display the appropriate emotions, be it fear, anger, determination, as they carried out their tasks.
So it wasn't just choreography.
Not at all. It wasn't just about looking the part. It was about embodying the psychological and emotional weight of a fighter. This level of authentic input is really what elevates the game beyond mere entertainment.
And what makes this truly compelling is how deeply this commitment to realism actually resonated with players, especially those with real-world experience. How did that translate?
Oh, the impact was profound. Almost beyond what you'd expect from a video game, really.
Yeah.
There's this powerful anecdote about an ex-US tank commander who played Battlefield 3. He described the experience as being better than any simulator he had ever been in.
Better than military simulators. Wow.
Yeah, and perhaps even more astonishingly, he said it gave him flashbacks to the Iraq War in a positive way.
In a positive way. That's complex.
Yeah, it is. This astonishing anecdote reveals the profound psychological power of meticulously crafted realism, blurring the lines between virtual experience and emotional reality. It even hints at maybe unexpected therapeutic potential. It suggests that highly immersive art can evoke responses far beyond mere entertainment, reaching into the deepest parts of an individual's lived experience.
Given that level of painstaking detail, it makes perfect sense how the novel fits into this immersive universe. The author states that the game is just one window into the BF3 experience. This book is another. It was apparently a natural progression to write a novel to complement the game, as there was still so much more of the story to tell.
Exactly. It's like they built this incredibly detailed sandbox, then realized there were still so many rich narratives lurking within its boundaries that needed to be fully explored.
So the novel adds layers the game couldn't.
Precisely. The novel extends that immersion, offering a deeper dive into the perspectives and motivations that a game, just by its nature, can only hint at.
Like internal thoughts.
Yeah, it allows for the exploration of internal monologues, complex backstories, and the nuanced moral ambiguities faced by its characters. It's about fleshing out the human element within that meticulously crafted world.
Providing context and emotional depth.
Exactly, complementing the game's action.
So let's turn our attention to one of those central characters, Dmitry Dima Mayakovsky. He's ex-Spetsnaz Russia's elite special forces.
Right, a heavy hitter.
The author describes him as someone who will certainly never win a humanitarian award for the role he plays.
Yeah.
But, and this is interesting, he's a character it's impossible not to feel drawn to.
That's the hook, isn't it?
Yeah. The novel provides a critical opportunity to see things from his point of view and understand the decisions and actions he takes. He sounds like a true anti-hero operating in those shades of gray.
He absolutely is. Dima operates in a world that no longer has the certainty of the old communist dictatorship he once served. That's key.
The ground shifted under him.
Completely. This geopolitical shift has fundamentally altered his moral landscape. In the post-Soviet era, traditional allegiances have crumbled, forcing individuals like Dima into ambiguous roles where survival, personal gain, self-interest
Come first.
often supersede any overarching national or ideological loyalty. And the striking element here is the nuanced portrayal. He's undoubtedly ruthless. We're told he executed his station chief in Iran, for instance.
Wait.
But he still manages to evoke a surprising degree of empathy from the reader.
How so?
You understand why he makes the choices he does, even if you don't condone them. His actions, however brutal, are often rooted in a pragmatism born of a harsh reality. He's surviving.
Okay, so to really get Dima, we need to go back to a formative moment for him. Let's unpack his initial mission in Beirut in 1991.
Right, the prologue.
The GRU, Russia's main intelligence directorate, is characterized by its signature lack of comfort. They're stood on alert from 6 a.m., but Moscow doesn't call until 3 p.m.
Naturally.
The hottest part of the day, in the hottest month, in what must have been the last non-air-conditioned hotel in Beirut. That just sets the stage for a seriously frustrating operation, designed to wear you down.
It immediately establishes the grim, no-frills reality of Dima's world. And in this stifling environment, we're introduced to Solomon, Dima's protege. Solomon is still so young, 20, but projecting an intelligence that would have been intimidating in someone twice his age.
A prodigy, then.
Sort of. Dima reflects on his past mentorship of Solomon, noting that Solomon no longer needs him, making Dima feel old and inferior. Solomon was Dima's find, plucked from the blasted slopes above Kandahar in the dying days of Russia's futile occupation of Afghanistan.
So Dima saw potential.
He recognized the boy's calm, his discipline, his amazing facility with languages, and his ruthlessness. But crucially, Solomon was marked down as trouble from day one, always challenging tutors, always believing he had a better idea.
That sounds like foreshadowing.
It absolutely is. This early characterization is vital for understanding his later development as a master manipulator.
And it sets the stage for this botched operation to get their hands on a target named Kalaji.
Right.
They're in a cab that stank of sweat and the driver's lunch. Solomon is sullen as a teenager, complaining about how the CIA would have their own car and radio.
Yeah.
Dima ironically tells him, maybe you chose the wrong side. Then, as they spot Kalaji's car, Dima's heart sinks. It's more than fully laden. He sees Kalaji at the wheel, his wife beside him, and the back seat full of children.
Oh, no.
Dima's gut reaction is immediate and stark. We'll have to kill them. A chilling glimpse into his operational mindset.
Wow. Just like that.
Solomon's response is cold pragmatism. Sedate him first, then get them out of the car. He'll never know what happened. Just clinical.
Chilling. The moral calculus there.
Then suddenly, Yank Americans appear, all armed, and a firefight immediately breaks out. Chaos.
And this is a pivotal moment. It really defines Solomon's character. His actions are so telling.
How so? What does he do?
At the first sign of trouble, he made himself invisible among the parked vehicles. Vanishes.
Leaves Dima.
Pretty much. Dima fumbles with his Colt 45, misses, it jams, gets shot clean out of his hand by an American. The Americans then scoop up the Kalaji family, embracing them into the bosom of democracy.
So the mission's blown.
Completely. And then Solomon reappears. The American whose foot Dima had just missed swings into view, ready to finish Dima off.
Yeah.
But the air between them exploded. The American sinks to his knees, his forehead cratered by a bullet.
Solomon shot him.
Solomon, wiping Dima's face with his fake polo shirt, confirms it was either shoot Kalaji or him.
Saving Dima, but sacrificing the target.
Exactly. Dima's dawning realization, you saved my life. And Solomon's chilling response, delivered with a glare of contempt, "Yes, I fucked up."
Wow, I fucked up. Not you're welcome.
No. This early fucked up moment, this cold, calculated yet life-saving act, profoundly reveals Solomon's deeply pragmatic and self-serving core. It sets the stage for his far more destructive, manipulative trajectory later.
His loyalty is always to himself.
Always. Masked by an outward appearance of competence.
It certainly explains a lot later on.
Yeah.
And it leaves Dima immediately consumed by raw self-blame.
Oh.
Cursing Palyaev for his stupid, ill-planned, under-resourced missions. The jammed gun, the one or two too many vodkas, and pretty much everything else about his shitty life so far.
It paints a very clear picture of the frustrations and systemic failures that has shaped him. He has to adapt or fail in that world.
Okay, let's fast forward. Moscow 2014.
Right, 23 years later.
Dima is called back by Bulganov for a courier job.
Yeah.
Exchanging a girl for $5 million shrink-wrapped. And Dima's character immediately comes through. He insists on no tricks, no counterfeit money, despite Bulganov wanting to use it.
Even now, he has a code.
Yeah, this small detail tells you a lot about Dima's professional code, even as a mercenary operating outside traditional military structure.
And the Moscow setting itself provides this stark, almost grim backdrop. It's April, but there are still clumps of old snow clinging to the pavements, forming long, winding fortifications.
Extreme visual.
Tall, gray buildings disappearing into low clouds. And it's a city of sharp contrasts. More billionaires in Moscow than any other city in the world. Yet in Dima's operational area, residents sold the window glass, so the authorities put up plywood instead.
That contrast mirrors his world, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This visual dichotomy isn't just background, it starkly mirrors the crumbling moral certainties of Dima's post-Soviet world. He's a product of this environment. Opulence for the few, decay and lawlessness for the many. That's his operational reality now.
So Dima arrives at the exchange building, and the atmosphere is just grim. The lift was dead, the stairs stank of piss, the building alive with the thump of rap and domestic disputes.
Yeah, not exactly the Ritz.
He even encounters a 10-year-old boy with fetal alcohol syndrome and a pistol grip in his pocket, a dragon tattoo on his hand. Dima grimly observes this is the flower of post-Soviet youth. What does this tell us about Dima's world now, this new normal?
It tells us he's operating in a brutalized, almost lawless environment where the veneer of civilized society is incredibly thin. Even children are armed and hardened by circumstance.
And yet, he goes in unarmed.
That's what's striking. His decision to go naked. No body armor, no firearm, no blades believing trust was everything in these exchanges.
That seems incredibly risky.
It is. He's a mercenary in a violent world who still adheres to this strange, almost ancient code of honor, even as he recognizes the innocence and inexperience of the two ski-masked Chechens by the slight tremble of a gun.
You can read them instantly.
Yeah. It underscores his deep understanding of human nature and combat, even as he relies on this risky, almost anachronistic principle in a world that has largely abandoned such notions.
And then he meets Fatsanyev, a former comrade and rival.
Yeah, from the Iran-Iraq War, Fatsanyev went underground after Grozny fell to the Russians. Now, both are described as mercenary and terrorist, two professions that were on the up.
A reunion of old enemies now in the same line of work.
Pretty much. And the scene quickly turns brutal.
How so?
Dima executes a tactical move, appearing to trip over the table to initiate the attack. The ensuing firefight is brutally efficient.
He hasn't lost his skills.
Not at all. He shoots one thug in the thigh, then the nose, another in the groin. And then there's this grotesque detail. The dark stain had spread from under the rug that had been thrown over the dead hookers.
Ugh. Just paints a vivid, sickening picture of this world.
It's not a clean fight. It's ugly, messy, steeped in moral decay. Highlights the true nature of his profession.
And then Internal Affairs shows up at the GRU building later.
Yeah, the heavies arrive, including Fremerov, a Mongolian who had served with him in Afghanistan, now clearly in the slow lane of his career.
And Dima handles them.
Oh yeah, quick thinking, ruthless actions. He flips one man like a sack of potatoes. It highlights that even out of the Spetsnaz, Dima retains his lethal capabilities and street instincts.
So he gets the job done, but then he reflects.
He does. It leads to this moment of introspection. He reflects on this funny old day, handling $5 million, taking the metro, all the killing in between.
The mundane and the extreme, side by side.
Exactly. Striking contrast. Significantly, Dima contemplates a normal life, but admits his own had been normal and it was too late to change that now.
Haunting.
And the profound question he asks himself, the question was whether he could live with himself, offers this fleeting glimpse into the internal conflict. A man who lives by the blade but maybe yearns for something else, a quiet dignity perhaps that his violent existence denies him.
Okay, let's shift gears completely. Let's introduce our other protagonist, Henry Blackburn, U.S. Marine.
Right, the American perspective.
He's described as patient when tempers were frayed, calm when others were jittery, measured when they were up to their armpits in the shit. He sounds like the quintessential steady, solid soldier.
He certainly seems that way on the surface. But beneath that steady exterior lies a deeply personal motivation for enlisting.
What's that?
Blackburn joined the Marines to slay a ghost that haunted his family's life. Specifically, his father's night screams and Iraq war trauma.
Wow. So it wasn't about patriotism.
Not primarily. It was about proving to himself that he could go into battle and come back in one piece, solid and, more to the point, sane.
Try not to repeat his father's experience.
Exactly. This intensely personal quest for validation and sanity profoundly shapes his actions and perceptions throughout the brutal experiences he's about to face. It gives his journey a unique internal dimension beyond just duty.
And his journey quickly brings him to the Iraq-Iran border on a mission to find Jackson's squad in a bad freaking part of town.
Yeah, straight into it.
The atmosphere is ominous. Montez's constant questioning, quit being a fucking hippie, Montez, contrasts with this eerie calm. So quiet, it's like they got the whole place on lockdown.
Boom before the storm.
Definitely.
And that calm is a combat indicator, right? A clear warning sign.
Yeah.
The silent streets, the women waving them forward and pointing upwards, all suggest hidden danger. Then, bang, sudden sniper attack, masonry shattering.
And the impact is immediate.
Yeah, the visceral impact on Matkovich, who finds 2 dead Marines, is particularly vivid. He sees something he's going to have trouble forgetting.
Like what?
Including one Marine with a wide red crater in his chest and a pensive look in his eyes, which were fixed on the blazing sky. It's just a chillingly detailed portrait of death in combat. Raw, unfiltered brutality.
Blackburn's reaction is equally visceral. Fuck this day.
You can feel it.
He's already thinking about how he'd missed the close rapport with his crew back home, but also wondering if he'd be too fucked up by then to enjoy a normal life.
That core fear is already there.
And his comrades try to cope-how.
They try to reprocess it into an action movie with all the dark stuff left out, which is described as a common, almost desperate coping mechanism in the face of such horror.
But the trauma only intensifies for Blackburn.
Oh, yeah. He has this profoundly disturbing encounter with an injured girl.
What happens?
Even as she dies in his arms, she rejects his help, telling him, "The PLR will destroy you all. You are finished." The PLR, a local insurgent group, has clearly instilled this deep hatred.
Wow. Even in death.
It's a powerful, intimate moment of utter despair and rejection that transcends the battlefield. Described as up the ante somehow, he had held her, the first and last man in her life, in a single, intimate embrace before death.
That would stick with you.
It imprints on him the futility and human cost of the conflict.
And after this, he takes a shower, watching the soupy puddle of dust and soot mix with the congealed blood into the familiar war cocktail swirling around his feet.
Grim imagery.
He wonders, is this it? The moment when a man changes forever? The usual reprocessing mechanism, that action movie filter, it isn't working for him anymore.
And then comes the truly horrific detail, the one that defines Blackburn's turning point.
What is it?
The beheading of Private James Harker. Blackburn witnesses a turbaned figure with a serrated blade like a bread knife but longer decapitate Harker in 20 seconds.
Oh my God. He sees it happen.
Yeah. Sees it. And in a moment of self-preservation, Blackburn takes a mental picture of the attacker's clean-shaven face, high cheekbones and small eyes.
Burns it into his memory.
This indelible image becomes a visceral scar, a driving force for Blackburn. It compels him towards this personal quest that transcends his military duties, seeking truth and maybe vengeance.
This changes everything for him.
Completely. This event directly leads to Blackburn's profound realization that after that, he would no longer entertain any of that shit about the nobility and rightness of war.
He finally gets it.
For the first time, he finally understands his father's silence, a silence born of similar deep-seated trauma. The personal quest for sanity now becomes a quest for understanding and, ultimately, retribution.
So with these 2 deeply impacted men, Dima and Blackburn, each grappling with their own burdens, let's return to Dima in Moscow.
Right. Time to understand the full scope of the global crisis that's about to unfold.
Palyov summons Dima to GRU headquarters.
And Palyov himself is a shadow of his former self. described as shriveled, his large, empty desk, ironically making him look small.
Powerless behind the power desk.
Exactly. There is also this shocking lapse in security at the tank-proof barrier, waving Dima through without checking, which is odd.
Very odd for the GRU.
And interestingly, there's a moment of stark contrast as Dima interacts with the pretty receptionist. His internal thought is that a quick fuck over the desk would have more than made up for the missed breakfast.
Whoa. Okay. Bit jarring.
It is. It contrasts sharply with the harsh, violent life he leads and reveals this fleeting, almost desperate desire for normalcy and pleasure amidst his grim existence. A little sliver of humanity, maybe.
You mentioned Dima's checkered past with the GRU earlier. What were his specific assignments and accolades before this?
Right. His history is extensive and, unconventional. He was subsequently transferred to Iran as instructor to the Revolutionary Guard, where, as he puts it, I executed him, referring to his station chief who was working for the British.
He admits that.
Casually. Considers it a reward for showing initiative, showcasing his ruthless pragmatism.
Unbelievable.
After an undercover assignment in the Balkans, he advanced to Afghanistan, where he was responsible for developing a close rapport with Mujahideen warlords.
So he was effective.
Very. He's been awarded both the Order of Nevsky and the Order of St. Andrew for exceptional services leading to the prosperity and glory of Russia.
Top honors.
But this paints a picture of a highly capable, effective, yet often too creative operative, which creates underlying tension with figures like Timofeyev.
Who doesn't trust him?
Views Dima with suspicion almost as an unpatriotic element. Dima operates by his own code, even within the system.
So what finally brings Dima back into the fold, especially after he's supposedly pensioned off for being too creative?
This is the core of it. The blackmail. The ultimate leverage.
Okay.
Kelyov offers a real reward for his service luxuries, like a Lexus or a nice little hunting lodge. But the true price, the real leverage, is a photograph.
A photo. Of what?
It's a picture of a young man with Camille's features, some of his own.
His son.
It's Dima's son. This is confirmation after 20 years of denials.
20 years.
Wow. It's an incredibly personal, life-altering revelation for Dima, who thought he was free. This deeply personal, intensely emotional motivation will significantly influence Dima's decisions and actions throughout this perilous mission.
He has no choice now.
Pretty much. He's bound to a mission he clearly distrusts. He explicitly thinks, isn't life just full of surprises? I thought I was free, but was it an illusion all along? His freedom, it seems, was always contingent on his past.
That's a powerful incentive, binding him to a future he clearly never wanted. So next, Dima moves into mission planning, heads to the aquarium ops room.
Right, and it stinks of sweat and smoke, filled with archivists, researchers, young uniformed men looking at satellite images of Iran.
Sounds chaotic.
There's even a cynical jab from Kroll. At least if World War III starts, we're ready, followed by Dima's dry retort about lung cancer. Dark humor again.
And they meet Arkov, the supervisor.
Yeah, the robotic supervisor, whose insistence on helicopter insertion immediately clashes with Dima's and Kroll's on-the-ground experience.
Dima wants solid intel first.
He's pragmatic. He insists on detailed intelligence, full analysis of all movements of vehicles, plus numbers of visible personnel on site. Look for any uniforms, insignia, and arms.
And Kroll is key here.
Absolutely. Kroll has an almost supernatural ability to anticipate Dima's thinking, and they share this mutual impatience with the military rulebook.
They work well together.
This dynamic duo, operating on instinct and experience, is crucial for navigating the GRU's bureaucracy and the complexities of the mission. They cut through the incompetence.
And the target itself is highly detailed. The Zargan property.
Yeah.
A 14th century monastery.
Yeah, with 4-meter deep walls,
Yeah.
renovated by the Shah in the 1950s, with a pool and garage, now under al-Bashir's control, possibly a regional command center.
And the crucial intelligence comes from Omarova.
Right, a tall and angular intelligence officer who provides the key intel on Amir Kaffarov.
Who is he?
She delivers a comprehensive profile. He's an ethnic Tajik, mediocre Air Force lieutenant who helped himself to a fleet of Antonovs, those large transport aircraft during the fall of the Soviet Union.
Opportunist.
Big time. He's now Russia's foremost and dodgiest arms dealer. Described as nervy, pushy, and impatient, a control freak who uses a lot of cocaine.
Charming.
We learn he has 2 mistresses and a kidnapped first wife whom he didn't pay ransom for.
Classy.
His wealth comes not just from arms trading, but also property and oil earnings, making him probably Russia's richest man.
So he's a major player.
This level of detail shows the complexity of the target. Kaffarov is far from a simple criminal. He's a significant, dangerous player on the global stage, operating at the highest echelons of organized crime and illicit trade.
So what's Dima's immediate takeaway from all this, given his history, the blackmail?
Dima, ever the experienced operative, senses it immediately. This job doesn't smell right.
Gut feeling.
Yeah. And Omarova's final advice to him, watch your back at all times, only reinforces his suspicion.
So we know something's off.
The compelling aspect here is Dima's growing distrust of the mission itself, recognizing the inconsistencies. Yet, his personal drive, the leverage of the photographs of his son, compels him forward.
He has to go.
He asks Kroll for all the toys because he anticipates something far more complex and dangerous than the GRU is letting on. He's preparing not just for the mission, but for potential betrayal from within.
Meanwhile, back in Iraq, at FOB Spartacus, Blackburn also receives new orders.
Right, the parallel track.
The base is rapidly transforming, being put on a war footing with Hesco bastions, those big sand-filled barriers and new guard towers. Things are escalating.
And Cole, his Keo, interrogates Blackburn about Harker's beheading, specifically the distance Blackburn's actions.
Second-guessing him?
Maybe. What's interesting is Blackburn's internal struggle. What the fuck else could I do?
A sentiment he doesn't voice, but it's clear he's wrestling with the limits of his power.
Cole, ever cold, says, "You did good yesterday. Doing it that well means it doesn't let up for you." A chilling recognition of the ongoing psychological toll.
No rest for the weary.
Then the briefing reveals al-Bashir is in the north sector of the city, having seized the Interior Ministry. An earthquake has downed their radar, opening a window for a surprise attack.
The crucial objective.
Al-Bashir must, repeat must, be taken alive. Blackburn's team is to provide overwatch during an Osprey, that Tiltrotor aircraft insertion.
So both Dima and Blackburn are now heading into major operations.
Yep. Setting up parallel, high-stakes missions converging on a shared, yet still unknown, threat.
Okay, now let's plunge into the chaos. Section 5. Failed missions and new revelations.
Here we go.
Dima's team is dropped by a Mi-26 helicopter, then drives Peking cars, common Iranian cars, through the Iranian night.
Keeping a low profile.
Dima's dark humor shines through again. Welcome to Iran. We hope you have a pleasant stay. Kroll's retort is even darker, and a bloody short one.
Sets the dire, cynical mood perfectly. Men heading into extreme danger.
The planning details are meticulous. They're using Darwish's photos of the compound walls, noting that parts of them are patched with brick and breeze block, making them vulnerable.
Exploiting weaknesses.
Yeah.
Standard procedure.
We're also introduced to Vaslov, Dima's old Spetsnaz instructor and nemesis.
Oh, friction there.
Seems like it. His administrative role now is a direct result of injuries, which just highlights the long-term debilitating cost of military life. Even veterans in admin roles bear the scars.
A constant reminder.
And when selecting the Go teams, Dima rejects Lenkov, who looks like a poster boy for the Waffen-SS because he wouldn't blend in.
Practical decision.
But he chooses Gregorin, a man with an extreme past, studied ballet, killed a superior, and administered a lethal dose of diamorphine, basically heroin, to ensure the man wouldn't recover.
Whoa, that's extreme.
Dima's thought. Most commanders would keep this man at a distance. He was perfect.
Tells you exactly what Dima needs for this mission. Utterly ruthless and unflinching.
Then the mission faces an immediate catastrophic complication.
What happens?
Kaffarov, the target, is about to be executed, hooded, half-naked, and shackled. Dima makes a snap decision to save him, prioritizing the mission's objective.
Gotta get the intel.
But the compelling aspect here is the almost immediate brutal failure. A missile strikes Shank's mill helicopter.
No. Their transport.
Yeah. Dima's desperate act to grab the scanner from the burning wreckage underscores his commitment to the mission's data, even as everything falls apart around him.
Professionalism even in disaster.
The aftermath is raw. Dima blames himself, Palyov, Shank. He notes the masks of shock and sorrow for their comrades roasted alive on Gregorin and Zirak.
Devastating.
And then Vladimir, Dima's subordinate, questions the missile's origin. Came in from the west, not from below.
That's crucial, not ground fire.
Exactly. Immediately raises a red flag. Suggests outside interference, a calculated attack, not accidental.
Someone wanted them dead, or wanted the mission to fail.
And this is where the major revelation drops. Palyov's secret about the suitcase nukes. He reveals they emit a signal, and that while the smallest previously weighed over 90 kilos, like a fridge,
Right.
miniaturization has now reduced it to a normal suitcase,
Right.
with a blast potential equivalent of 18 kilotons of TNT, about the same as the Hiroshima bomb. Holy.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. He withheld that.
This profound level of deception and betrayal within the GRU itself is staggering. Palyov, who supposedly orchestrated this mission, withheld such a critical, game-changing detail about WMDs. He turned Dima into an unwitting pawn.
Dima, realizing the depth of the deception, furiously demands his son's information from Palyov over the comms. You tell me now or do the job yourself.
Putting the screws to him.
The extreme pressure on Palyov, my life more like, finally makes him hint. Timofeyev has that information.
Passing the buck even now, but it's a lead.
It's a critical moment, tying Dima's deeply personal stakes directly to the larger geopolitical machinations and a looming global catastrophe.
And the layers of betrayal just keep unfolding. Dima confronts Raja Mirasani, his former cadet who they capture.
What does he reveal?
Raja reveals that Kaffarov was not being held captive, but was there voluntarily to meet al-Bashir, who then changed locations.
So the intel was completely wrong.
Fundamentally faulty, designed to mislead them. This confirms the missile strike was an outside action. Someone knew they were coming.
The whole thing was a setup.
Dima realizes the entire mission is fucked, and all that waste of life was based on a calculated deception. It just chips away at any remaining loyalty he might have to the GRU.
Okay, let's switch back to Blackburn's side. He's back in Tehran.
Right, after the initial shock.
And he immediately faces Harker's furious friends, accusing him of cowardice for not saving Harker.
That's rough. Blaming the survivor.
Blackburn's internal conflict is palpable. Having failed to save Harker, was he now going to beat up his friends? But his response is cold, firm, born of that new, harsh understanding.
What does he say?
There was nothing I could do. This is a war. People get killed. He shed his naive perspective, embraced the brutal realities.
He's changed.
The urban warfare they encounter next is brutal. A T-90 tank, a Russian main battle tank, ambushes them in downtown Tehran.
Heavy armor. Bad news.
Destroys Brady's Humvee, killing both Brady and Colonel Jafari. Blackburn's team then has to secure the biggest bank in Iran, a marble monolith, miraculously undamaged by quake or bombardment.
Stands out amidst the destruction. Must be important.
And inside the bank, Blackburn finds a vault with one nuclear device, green light blinking.
One.
But there's evidence of two, repeat two, gone.
Oh, God. 2 loose nukes.
And then on a split-screen monitor, he sees al-Bashir vacating building, pulling a wheeled case.
The nuke.
Presumably, accompanied by a second man, the clean-shaven, high cheekbones figure.
From Harker's beheading, Solomon.
It all connects.
The immediate chilling connection Blackburn makes between Harker's beheader and the nuclear threat is deeply intuitive, born of raw trauma and that keen observational eye.
Suggests a mastermind, right?
Yeah.
A deeper conspiracy linking seemingly disparate acts of terror.
Exactly. And Blackburn's internal struggle with the trauma of war, seeing innocent people get killed and mutilated, is highlighted again. But he now understands how personal traumas upped the ante, compelling him to act.
He's not just a soldier anymore.
No, he's a man on a personal quest for truth and justice, driven by a ghost that has taken on a terrifying new form. Solomon.
The two narratives are now starting to intersect with alarming clarity. Section 6, the intersecting hunts.
Finding Solomon, saving the world.
Let's return to Dima. His next move is to contact Darwish, the guy who provided the earlier photos of the compound.
Right, the local contact.
Turns out Darwish's daughter, Amara, is unhappily married to Ghazul Halen, al-Bashir's number 3 and intelligence chief.
Wow, talk about a connection.
And Amara desperately wants to escape. She texts her father, "I want to come home." This gives Dima an unexpected but incredibly risky new asset.
Using the enemy's family. High risk indeed.
Dima's plan to use Amara is described as high risk to the point of madness, highlighting his willingness to take extreme measures given the stakes.
He's cornered. He needs an edge.
And what's crucially significant here is Dima's intuition about Krull's scanner. It now shows 3 nukes.
3. Where's the third?
1 is with the Americans, the one Blackburn found. 2 are moving north of the capital into mountains.
So Solomon got away with 2. This immediately expands the scope of the threat and confirms the intelligence Dima suspected Palyov was withholding, solidifies the global nature of this crisis.
Dima then faces this deeply personal crisis of faith.
Yeah.
He tries to contact Moscow after the disaster at Bazargan. Omarova informs him that Palyov is gone, Timofeyev has taken control, and Moscow believes Dima is dead.
They cut him loose. Burned him.
The GRU isn't the place it was. Dima feels completely abandoned. They're giving up. His internal monologue becomes stark. Trust no one. Above all, look after yourself.
Spetsnaz training kicking in, but it still hurts.
He questions his own Spetsnaz values, wrestling with how he could convince them of the rightness of the cause when he was losing his own faith. This is a moment of profound disillusionment. Systemic betrayal forces him to rely solely on his own instincts.
Despite his training, which paradoxically teaches distrust, it still stings to be cast aside like that.
So his team uses Amara to get to Kaffarov's chalet. It's in a protected area for wildlife with a private ski lift, once belonging to the Shah, very luxurious.
Kaffarov's hideout.
Amara's convincing performance as a captive with her security detail allows them to get in. But it's a trap.
Of course it is.
Kristen, Kaffarov's mistress, is killed by a rocket attack, confirming the external threat and continued manipulation. The layers of deception are still active even as Dima operates off-book.
Someone is still pulling strings.
In the chaos, Dima's ruthless single-mindedness takes over. He's not thinking about his dead comrades or Amara, only Kaffarov and the nukes. Priority 1.
Laser focus.
He infiltrates the chalet, engages a Korean bodyguard, yin or yang, and confronts Kaffarov.
Finally face to face.
The striking element here is Kaffarov's character. He's a slight man, drooping shoulders, with a permanent frown. Not physically imposing,
But dangerous.
he immediately interrogates Dima by attempting to drown him in the pool, showcasing his sadistic nature.
Nice guy.
Kaffarov's cynical worldview is laid bare. Every man for himself. And a chilling prediction that 9/11 will just be a footnote in history after what's coming.
He knows about the nuke's destinations.
Seems so. He claims Dima is naive, struggling to make a living doing other people's dirty work, and that Dima was sent as a scapegoat.
Probably true.
But then, in a bitter twist of fate, Kaffarov dies of a heart attack. Mid-interrogation.
What? No! Anticlimax.
It highlights the unpredictable nature of this world. Even the most dangerous players can be brought down by their own vices, not the force of an enemy.
Dima gets no answers from him.
Meanwhile, Blackburn is converging on the same target. After Bashir's dying word, Solomon ignites Blackburn's deeper investigation.
He's got the name.
He feels headed into a whole tunnel of self-doubt, but also marveled at the speed with which whatever he wanted was provided by Cole's intelligence.
Strange mix of personal turmoil and operational efficiency. Cole wants Solomon too.
Blackburn's efforts lead him deep within the chalet. He uses memorized plans to breach a hidden corridor into an underground bunker.
Getting closer.
But then the unexpected happens. A lump from the ceiling traps him, cutting him off, leaves him vulnerable and isolated.
Just when he's about to find him.
And this sets the stage for the dramatic, improbable meeting. Dima finds Blackburn trapped.
No way. They finally meet.
Two highly skilled operatives, both battered, both seeking the same elusive target, Solomon and the nukes. Immediately suspicious of each other, yet bound by their shared desperate mission.
This is the convergence. Wow.
This is truly the critical turning point in the entire story.
What happens next? Do they fight?
Blackburn shares the crucial intelligence first. Solomon's identity is the beheader, his association with al-Bashir.
Dima didn't know Solomon was the beheader.
Doesn't seem like it. And the chilling detail of the maps found in the bank vault, showing Paris and New York as targets.
Paris and New York.
With Paris, one's got a big X marks a spot right over the stock exchange, and New York on Times Square.
Oh my God. This shared knowledge fundamentally shatters their dynamic. This unexpected alliance, forged by shared information and extreme circumstances, shatters conventional military structures.
They have to work together now.
It demands that both Dima and Blackburn operate outside their established loyalties, united by a singular, urgent threat to the world. Their individual quests merge into a global imperative.
But the immediate reality of their opposing loyalties comes crashing down. Cole arrives in the bunker. Blackburn's scale.
Oh, this won't be good.
Cole instructs Blackburn to kill Dima. I'm giving you a chance.
Kill the Russian, just like that.
This is the pivotal, defining moment for Blackburn.
Yeah.
But Dima, with reflexes taking over, grabs a gun and shoots Cole first, saving his own life.
Whoa, Dima shoots Cole.
This act of vengeance creates a new, undeniable dynamic. Blackburn faces this impossible internal struggle. Two men, his CO and his tormentor, telling him to kill the stranger who had just saved his life.
Bush choice.
This act marks a profound shift for Blackburn. He's forced to choose between military protocol and a deeper, more personal sense of justice and self-preservation.
He doesn't shoot Dima.
No. In the immediate aftermath, Blackburn works with Dima to escape through a shaft leading out the back of the mountain.
Unlikely allies.
Dima, surprisingly, offers Blackburn a spot on his team. Blackburn politely refuses. I think I might crap your style.
Understatement.
There's a quiet, poignant moment of connection when Dima realizes Blackburn is 25, the same age as his son.
Hits close to home for Dima.
The personal stakes, even in this moment of escape, continue to rise, adds a layer of paternal concern for Dima.
But the global pursuit continues relentlessly. Dima escapes with Kroll and Vladimir.
What about Amara and Darwish?
They manage to get Amara and Darwish to safety, but face another ambush at an airstrip. Darwish loses a thumb.
Ouch.
But in a surprising turn, Amara saves Dima by shooting an attacker. Shows her own resilience forged in the chaos.
Good for her. But their transport.
Destroyed, once again forcing them into improvisation.
What's compelling here is Dima's sheer will and adaptability. Despite not having piloted a helicopter in a long while and it feeling unfamiliar, he takes the controls.
Can he fly it?
His ingrained Spetsnaz training allows him to fly, with pressures, not movements, demonstrating incredible resourcefulness under extreme duress. He's internalized his skills to the point of instinct.
Amazing.
Back in Moscow, Dima confronts Palyov.
Who he knows betrayed him.
But Palyov is now drugged, has fallen foul of the powers that be, a broken man.
Karma.
Palyov, in his haze, finally reveals the location of Dima's son. Your boy. He works at the Bourse, the Paris Stock Exchange.
The Bourse, that was one of the targets on the map.
Exactly. This is the culmination of Dima's deeply personal quest, the answer he was blackmailed into seeking.
But just as this revelation hits, Dima hears a shot. Palyov is killed.
Silenced by Timofeyev.
Seems likely. This signifies the end of an era, a final loss of old values, a true breaking point for Dima. Severs his last ties to the GRU.
And Dima's reaction?
Immediate, violent revenge on Timofey. Stabs him in the eye with scissors and then fights his way out of the building completely naked. Naked. Wow. Primal fury.
It's a furious response to the ultimate betrayal and the collapse of everything he once knew.
Bulganov then becomes Dima's unlikely ally.
The guy from the money exchange.
Yeah. Uses his influence to get Dima out of Moscow and Paris, despite an international warrant for Dima's arrest for trafficking of nuclear weapons.
Bulganov helps him why?
Bulganov's price. I get to go all the way with you. His cynicism about Russia is palpable. Everybody can be shown to have stolen something from somewhere, sees an opportunity maybe.
A compromise system.
Kroll's scanner, meanwhile, now clearly shows 3 nukes. 1, possibly in American hands, Blackburn's, and 2 traveling together north of Tehran. Confirms the multi-pronged nuclear threat Solomon has unleashed.
Okay, Section 7. The clock is ticking. Paris and New York in the crosshairs.
The climax.
Let's start with Blackburn's fight to be believed back in the U.S. He's imprisoned at Fort Donaldson on suicide watch.
They think he's crazy or a traitor.
He hears a humming, a song being sung by George Jacobs, a civilian cleaner. It's a coded message from Dima.
Dima found him. How?
Doesn't say, but the message is clear. I'm flying to Paris. I'm keeping my promise. I'll be there tomorrow. Da-da-da. Do not repeat. Do not despair.
This coded message is hugely significant. Shows how Dima, even across continents, knew where Blackburn was and how to reach him. Reveals that deep, almost telepathic understanding and trust that formed between them.
A bond forged in shared peril.
And the poignant aspect here is Blackburn's increasing desperation to be believed, especially by his father.
What does his father say?
He simply replies, "I just don't know what you mean," when Blackburn tries to connect his experience to his father's trauma.
Oof. Rejection.
The very reason Blackburn enlisted to understand his father now feels rejected, compounding his isolation and sense of urgency.
Blackburn is then interrogated by Dershowitz and Andrews. They accuse him of being a pathologist and covering for Dima.
Calling him a liar.
Dismiss his story about Solomon and the nukes as a comic book. It's this frustrating wall of disbelief, bureaucratic inertia. Highlights a systemic failure to grasp the true scale of the threat.
But then Whistler, a Homeland Security agent, has second thoughts.
He grapples with his own conscience, remembering those guys who chose not to follow up on the suspicious trainee pilots who went on to down the Twin Towers.
The cost of inaction.
This moral dilemma forces his hand. He puts his career on the line by contacting Senator Douglas, Jackie's father, to get Blackburn's claims taken seriously.
A moment of rare integrity.
Finally, Blackburn is given mugshots and identifies Solomon. And then the news that truly energizes him. A full nuclear alert in Paris breaks.
It's real. He was right.
The threat is real, immediate, confirms everything he's been saying.
The dramatic escape that follows is a direct result of this news. Blackburn, energized and desperate, lunges, shoves the gurney into his guards, grabs a nightstick, takes out Gordon, disarms Whistler.
He just snaps.
This moment reveals Blackburn's profound transformation. From steady soldier to a man willing to break all rules, commit violence for a higher purpose. He offers Whistler a choice. Walk me out of here. You could be the man who helps save your city. Frames it as an ultimate moral imperative.
Wow. Okay, race against time in Paris. Dima arrives, a city he loved more than any other, even as it faces annihilation.
Poetic irony.
He immediately spots Rawson's obvious surveillance vehicle, a dog-eared Renault space people mover with smoked glass windows and no hubcaps. Hilariously bad surveillance.
Rawson, though aged and seemingly less effective, provides crucial intelligence on Solomon. He'd done an extremely good job of covering his tracks. No official records.
But he found something.
A link to a North African extremist group, Force Noire, that Solomon had supposedly infiltrated. Rawson shows Dima a picture of Solomon, exactly as he remembered him, the perfect 21st century triple agent turned terrorist.
Confirms Solomon's deep deception, his true nature.
Dima uses Kroll's scanner to track the nuke to the Bourse, the Paris Stock Exchange.
Just like Palyaev said his son worked there. And the map.
He quickly realizes the first bomb they found was a decoy, not attached to any suitcase nuke. The stakes are even higher now. True target identified right at the heart of the city's financial district. And his son is there.
The compelling aspect here is the bureaucratic nightmare Dima faces, even in this emergency. Trying to find a maintenance person for the photocopier containing the bomb.
A photocopier? Seriously?
Apparently. He meets Adam Lavelle, Deputy Director of Communications, tries to herd people to the shelter. The absurdity of protocol in the face of imminent catastrophe is striking.
Human inertia in the face of oblivion.
And then, the climactic, deeply personal revelation. Dima asks Adam, was your mother's name Camille?
He asks him. Right there.
Adam confirms, my natural mother, yes. But how do you know that? Dima finally reveals his identity, urgently telling him that if nothing else, do this for her.
Adam is Dima's son. Oh my God. A lifetime of searching culminates in the most urgent of circumstances.
Dima's desperate race against the clock continues. He's wheeling the massive photocopier with the nuke inside through the Bourse.
Gotta get it out.
Kroll's casual, almost absurd commentary provides his darkly humorous counterpoint to the extreme tension. Dima then undertakes a chaotic drive through Paris, creating pileups to evade police, heading for Isle-Seguin, desperate to get the bomb away from the city center.
Every second counts.
The final moments are agonizing. Dima pulls the bomb from the photocopier. The LED reads 04.10. Solomon, ironically, was obsessed with timekeeping.
The clock is ticking down.
Dima, with no time for craftsmanship, uses a claw hammer. With mere seconds left, 0.48, he twists the detonator.
Did he make it?
And succeeds. He averts the Parisian catastrophe through sheer will and improvisation.
Unbelievable. He saved Paris and his son.
Meanwhile, back in New York, Blackburn, released by Whistler, is now in Times Square.
The second target.
Blackburn sees Solomon at the subway entrance.
He found him.
The striking element here is the almost dreamlike chase through the subway. The frenzy of glitz and flashing colors of Times Square contrasting with the grim reality of the mission.
Surreal.
Blackburn's unwavering focus, his righteous indignation, is palpable. The encounter with the giant clown waddling towards him adds a surreal, almost nightmarish quality to the scene. Highlights Blackburn's mental state pushed to his limits, yet utterly driven.
Driven by Harker's image.
And it all culminates in the subway, with Blackburn ending Solomon's reign of terror in a final, brutal confrontation.
He gets him. It's over.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's fascinating to note the contrasting outcomes.
How so?
Dima disarms the bomb through skill, improvisation, and desperation, driven by that newfound, intensely personal connection. Meanwhile, Blackburn kills Solomon through direct, raw action, fueled by his own personal trauma and quest for vengeance.
Different paths to resolution.
These different resolutions speak volumes about the nature of heroism, the individual paths these men took, and the distinct challenges they faced. Both achieved their objectives, but in fundamentally different ways. reflects their unique characters and the extraordinary circumstances.
And what a journey it was, from pixels on a screen to global peril.
We've traced the dual narratives, the incredibly high stakes, the profound personal journeys of Dima and Blackburn.
Their stories interwoven with themes of family, loyalty, revenge, the blurred lines between good and evil, truth and deception.
It's a testament to the power of narrative, whether in a game or a novel, to explore the most intense human experiences.
What's truly compelling here is how the source material, starting as a game, built such incredible detail and immersion that it could then be translated into a novel, delivering that realism in its most brutal, personal forms.
From virtual flashbacks to real emotional depth.
Yeah. The narrative truly culminates in moments of personal redemption and understanding, even amidst global chaos and existential threats, shows the human capacity for purpose, even when the world seems to unravel.
And for Dima, the story ends with an unexpected, quiet poignancy. He's in Paris, seeing the news. Marine bomb hero cleared and nuke terrorist slain, Blackburn and Solomon.
He sees Blackburn got credit.
He and Kroll are chilling at a cafe when Animal Val appears with his parents.
His son comes to find him.
Yeah. The final, powerful moment. Dima meets his son, who calls him the savior of Paris and my new hero.
Wow, after everything.
But Dima, the ruthless, cynical operative, could find no words. It's a beautiful, understated resolution. A lifetime of personal sacrifice, the brutal reality of his past, finally giving way to a moment of unexpected, profound connection.
And then that leaves you with this provocative thought. In a world of such complex, intertwined conflicts and deeply personal stakes, where loyalties are blurred and trust is a luxury, how do individuals truly define their own heroism? And how do they find peace amidst the chaos?
What does it genuinely mean to be well-informed when the information is not just about global events, but profoundly personal and world-altering?